Thanks for joining us on Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. Stu Rich and Mike Wood here to take you through the last day of the carnival at Rosehill Gardens, and what a carnival it has been. We'll be taking you through 5 feature races tonight, turning all the analysis into a race itself. We've got best bets, value bets in there as well. Of course, the $100 hot seat and the charity bet at the end of the show. Mike, slipper day last week, the slipper, Winks, the autumn sun. What a day that was, mate.
Yeah, great to be with you on a Thursday night, mate, but even better to be with you last Saturday. What a great day it was. The buzz on track was fantastic. Winks, obviously the golden slipper trifecta for Godolphin. Everyone cheered for that, but no one had the winner, obviously. And the autumn sun, that was a grandstand finish itself, worthy of the whole day. Yep. We got a little bit carried away though, mate. We had a great day all day long, didn't we?
Oh, we did? What do you mean? They're on track early for some work. Got a table by about 10:30. First pie 10:45. First beer 11 o'clock when the bars open. That's a pretty good day for me, mate.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I pulled up a bit rusty. How are you, mate?
Yeah, look, I think it took me a little bit longer as well, mate. That is not what we've always got in store. But look, punters out there, they don't want to hear about how we pulled up last week, Mike, because the track, all important. We need to see how this is going to turn out, because the weather this weekend, we don't know what it's going to do. More rain forecast on Saturday. That interview with Sean Patterson today, I reckon he looked a little bit concerned in what he was saying. I'm concerned. Are you concerned?
I am very, very worried. Sean was worried on the video, wasn't he? It was very choppy last Saturday with rain just before the race day. There are storms forecast on Saturday morning. The rail's out 6 metres. It was an on-pace bias last Saturday. Yep. And the rest of this is a big, big hazard warning for Key Factors tonight. We've rated the races on soft, but it could be heavy with anything between 8 and 25 millimetres. They upgraded the forecast as we drove in. It could be an off-rails bias, it could be an on-pace bias, it could be down the outside, it could be up the inside, it could be absolutely anything on Saturday. So be very wary before you bet on Saturday morning. OK, well, we've got to keep the eyes on the skies. Mike, we've had to pick 5 races either way. Weather aside, how have we come up with these ones? Well, we've penned race 8 and race 9 because it's going to be really tricky. The Tancred Stakes, the Group 2, we really liked. Yep. But those New Zealanders, the form's really variable when they come across the ditch. So we're not going to do that race 1, race 2, the Group 3s. Race 4 is a great Group 2 for the mares. And obviously we have to do the 2 Group 1s. The Vinery, one of the best Vinery stud stakes for the fillies I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. Of course, the Tancred Stakes there as well. Over 2,400. But the first race we're going to have a look at Rosehill Gardens this weekend is the Schweppervessens for the 2-year-olds. We're out to 1,400 metres, and a little bit of a golden slipper consolation here, Mike, for a few of these stepping out. Let's have a look at the market. And one of those horses that did miss out on a slipper run was Bellevue Hill for the Gay Waterhouse Adrian Bott stable. The Piero Colt, La 10 just in behind there, $4.60. The I'm Invincible Colt winning the last 2 runs in Melbourne, 1,400 metres, all importantly as well, Mike. Strasbourg, the Helmet filly, a solid chase in the Todman. And then look at this, right out to Fortress Command, $10. We've got Rome with the Pinsec form in the Black Opal. And that, Mike, is his $1.85 Bellevue Hill here in the first.
Yeah, unlucky to miss out on the slipper. Almost like he came up a bit too late for the Waterhouse and Bott stable. Let's have a look at one of the big slipper lead-ups, the Group 2 Todman Stakes, which had some slipper form. They didn't run too well in the slipper. Horses like Yes, Yes, Yes and Dubious got well beaten. Bellevue Hill on pace, fighting on really, really well. Strasbourg was first up in this race, though. Had a 3-wide no-cover run. And I kind of liked what he did the last 250, 200 metres here, Stu.
Well, this is all important for these horses out to 1,400 metres, Mike. You just nailed it there. That's the sort of distance range we want to be seeing now, the way they're finishing off these races.
Yeah, you'd think that on pace of Bellevue Hill, who was so strong in the day, would have been wound up absolutely for this race. Second up, Waterhouse and Bott stable, they get them fit so early. Strasbourg, well back late in markets, finds the line after a 3-wide no-cover run. Maybe he's the one to follow, but they're both pretty good runs in the Group 2.
I noticed stuck wide in the form comments there, Mike. Let's have a look at the Godolphin horse now, La 10. This is 1,400 metres at Flemington in the Sires, the Group 2. Mike, all importantly, we just said it, 1,400 metres. This horse has had the run at this. It knuckled down here, really fought on well.
Yeah, it seems obvious, doesn't it? It's in a group race on Saturday. It's already won a Group 2. It's on pace. It's had 4 or 5 starts as preparation. It's from the Godolphin stable. How many boxes can you tick? The tempo is maybe on the steady side this day, so she had a couple of favours. The tempo was fair in the race guide. And Dalagan and Fling, they had Melbourne form. They had Sandown Hillside form, the ones behind her. And she goes up in weight, so she was good, but maybe a bit of a risk on Saturday.
Look, we're going to see. Well, I thought that horse was gone there in that replay. Mike showed
a long straight at
really
Flemington.
Good fighting qualities there at Flemington. Let's get this first race started now. All the form and the key factors, Mike. We're looking for the gold bars. So who is taking all the form into the Schweppervessens?
Yeah, really interesting this page because because obviously it's a Sydney form versus the Melbourne form. We've given a bit of a tick to the Sydney form.
Okay, so it's Bellevue Hill, the one they all have to catch as we get the race started with progression, Mike. Who is going to bridge that gap here?
Yeah, like we said, Bellevue Hill probably really fit at his second run. He could improve third up as well, but Strasbourg, second up at his preparation, we think he's the one that can improve. But there's lots of horses that could improve in this race, but they definitely need to. They're not in form, the ones down the bottom.
Well, they're going to have to definitely try and catch these two. Bellevue Hill and Strasbourg out in front as we hit the distance, Mike, 1400.
Yeah, it's distance and includes distance at stage of prep. So Strasbourg was good 12 first up. I think 14's the same for him second up. Saporto can wind up and Dawn Too Good as well, but they're well behind on form ratings.
Yep, these two still well out in front. Mike, track conditions. Look, you're going to have to play it. It is a bit of a guess.
It's a bit of a guess. Strasbourg's been proven before. He had a similar form rating. Bellevue Hill's unknown. Fortress Command, it looks like a wet track, a lightly framed type. And Spring Loaded ran okay on soft. But yeah, we don't know. And we've rated on soft that it could be heavy. Lots of caveats here.
All right, so Fortress Command making a lunge at these two. Mike, position run. Who is this going to suit?
Not playing that much. The bias is up in there, like we said, so we can't play it too much on a Thursday night.
Okay, so Fortress Command has made a late lunge, as I said, Bellevue Hill and Strasbourg. Right there, though, Mike. La 10, I mean, Godolphin in form, not appearing in our ratings there. How do you leave one of these horses out? We'll have to see if that's one of the ones we do leave out of the tips. Here is the overall ratings with all the prices, Mike. And look, for us, $1.85 and $4.80, but Slipper, Godolphin, it's not there. What's going on?
We're going against the big blue team. James Cummings, his 2-year-olds just keep improving, don't they? So she could keep improving. But I think there's some more others with upside. Strasbourg second up. He's been on a soft track before. He's the play for us.
Yep.
But Fortress Command could be a mutter. So if the rain really hits, he's a tough type. But we'll go with Strasbourg each way.
All right, so Strasbourg there in the first, around about that $5 and each way odds to get things started. Let's have a look now at race number 2. It is the Selwood Stakes over the 2,000 metres. It's Group 3 level, and Mike, form coming from everywhere here. And you got to note, Mossendale, the favourite, its form reads 0-0, so 2 duck eggs. But you know what? It's the absolute mutter in the race. That's why the money's there, $4.20. Goathland having its third 2,000 metre run this preparation, $4.40. Emperor's Ray coming off that really good run last start, $6. All Too Soon, interesting one on the backup from last week. Didn't get too much luck. There's Harlem, the Australian Cup winner, $9.50, and Tokamuchi, $9.50 there as well, chasing well in the Canberra Cup. But Mike, the mutters, they are looking at 1-2 in this race, and the punters like them.
Yeah, there's not too many mutters in this race, but Mossendale is a mutter, but his last run was horrible, so we're not going to look at that. We're looking at a decent wet track race here. Goathland in the Sky High Stakes, and we're looking at two episodes of the Sky High Stakes and these replays. Coming to the outside, Red Cardinal is one of the favourites in the Group 1 later in the day. He fights on pretty okay behind him, Stu.
Yeah, well, that's got to be one of the best form references for this race, Mike. And another horse in here, Tavago. I know we liked it this day. Can punters give up on this horse?
Yeah, we hoped he could come back from injury and do well. Second up, obviously his third up, he could improve, but that was beaten a long margin. Goathland, like we said, one of the only in-form wet trackers in this race on Saturday.
Okay, that was a look at this year's Sky High. So let's go back to last year's Sky High, because these horses are now a year older. They've got a bit more experience. We're talking of Ouvray and Libran. Mike, these two were not on the odds there when we went through it, but these are two pretty classy horses on their day when right.
Yeah, set weights and penalties. When you look through your form guide or your race guide, you'll see that's the setup for this race. So the classier types are suited, just like this race 12 months ago. Libran was second up this day, Ouvray early in his preparation as well. They are two very good 2,000 metres horses at their best, but you can see the sun on their backs that day. That is what they need on Saturday, and the forecast has changed a couple of hours ago.
I was just about to say that track looked absolutely beautiful. Risky. We're not going to get that Saturday. Let's have a look now at all the form and the key factors for the Neville Selwood Stakes. We're looking for the gold here, Mike. Where are we going?
Yeah, Mossendale definitely not. Went terribly last start. Goathland, Emperor's Way and Harlem all in decent form. Harlem won a Group 1 last start. Okay,
so let's get this race started. The favourite needs to make up a lot of ground here, Mike. Who has got progression?
Yeah, he can progress, though. He can improve into his preparation. Third up, he gets fit into his prep. Almost Court can improve. Third up, Tavago has to improve. Libran loves it second up.
Well, Libran's levelled up there to Harlem, Goathland and Emperor's Race. So we've got a race on our hands here, Mike. What about the distance?
Yeah, 2,000 metres second up. Perfect for Libran. His 2,000 metres record is probably better than his 2,400 metre record. He absolutely loves a 2,000 metre distance. And main stage is a real stayer. He'll appreciate the extra trip as well.
Okay, so Libran just sticking his neck out in front here, Mike, as we hit the track conditions.
Yeah, some people say just throw out your form guide when the rain's around. Just go Mossendale, but even with a heavy track or a soft track, we still don't think he makes up the gap.
Look, one of the country's best mutters, Muddendale, Mike, Mossendale, I should say, Muddendale. Now, what about position in run? 1800, who's going to get this?
That is a Freudian slip. Nothing, the bias is unknown.
All right, well, look, there's a look at all the gold there, Mike. We've got pretty much a race on our hands here, don't we? That was Librun just edging ahead there. But look, favourite not in those ratings. Let's have a look now because it is time for a bet in the Neville Selwood Stakes. And, Mike, Ouvray we've mentioned, $18, Librun $16, but so many questions on the rain here, Mike, because these horses aren't the wet trackers like Emperor's Way.
Yeah, Librun, Ouvray and Emperor's Way, not a wet tracker either, they're all dry trackers. Gothland can handle it, we saw the replay, Harlem's a risk in the wet. So set your alarm clocks for 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. If it's sunny outside, Librun and Ouvray are the two for us. If the rain is coming, you can forget you ever watched this episode of Key Factors because they're not the tip, but they're massive, massive odds if the storm skips past Sydney.
All right, they're the ones we want. A lot of value there in race number 2 at Rosehill Gardens. Hopefully plenty of value more after the break. Stick around, we'll be back with more. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by the raceguide.com.au. The third race we're having a look at Rosehill Gardens is one of the big ones. It's the Emancipation Stakes, over 1,500 metres for the fillies and mares, and we're pretty much lining up the class of Elise here with all the Coolmore form stacked in behind. But there is Elise on top of the betting, $2.10. A long preparation back from the All-Star Mile. Dyslexic coming off its Rosehill heavy run. Really good support here. $9, pretty much halved its price into $4.80. And here we've got to line up all this Coolmore form. We've got Princess Posh, Noir, well, there's Nantalia up, but Daisy Doom, Oregon's Day, Mike. This is pretty much Coolmore form versus the class of Elise.
Yeah, very good mares. The Sydney mares got really hot form. Elise is flying this preparation. She's been up for a while. And this could have been her grand final. Let's have a look at the last start, the All-Star Mile. The first time it was run, obviously. She gets back on the inside. She's got a huge turn of foot. Talking about too many horses get described as having a big turn of foot. This mare genuinely has a massive turn of foot. But maybe the 1,600 metres was a tiny bit far for her this day.
Look, had all the room to come through, Mike. Hits the front here, but it took a great horse to run her down. Mystic Journey.
Definitely. She's a little bit peaky for sure as well. Hartnell kicks back on the inside and beats her late. Mystic Journey. She could be a freak. She could be anything. This has to be the best form line, doesn't it?
Look, it sure does. And look, another great form line over the years, as always, Mike, is the Coolmore. But maybe a few little queries this year. We're having a look here. We've got a few runners to look at. We've got Princess Posh, Oregon's Day, Noir, and of course, Invincible Gem out wide, not having too much luck.
Yeah, let's watch Invincible Gem first. Just on the outside, jockey thinks Fiesta and I Am Serious. There's some pretty good horses to follow for Chris Waller, but gets blocked at the 300 metres mark. They were going nowhere. She comes way out, probably 11 lanes out. No horses have been there all day, and she chases really hard. Oregon's Day okay on the inside. She peaks late. Princess Posh never peaks, does she, mate? She just keeps on running.
No, look, you've got to dissect that Coolmore form as much as you like. Plenty of those horses going around in this race, Mike. Hopefully the Key Factors can sort all that out for us. Where does the form lie, though? Surely that All-Star Mile.
Yeah, definitely. Set weights and penalties for Elise. She's got 3 kilograms more than the rest, but she's a better mare than the rest. Light her up. Invincible Gem, big rating for her because we thought she was unlucky last start, like we just said.
OK, so it is all the class of Elise. The others have to do the chasing now. But some of these have surely got progression.
Yeah, looking for ones with upside. Dyslexic been a run behind this prep, hasn't she? 1,400 metres first up, 15 second up. She can improve third up. Daisy Doom can improve second up. And Sedanza has to do better than the first up run.
Yeah, we'd like to see a bit more from Daisy. Let's hope she can get there, Mike. What about the distance?
Yeah, I think James Cummings has picked out this race because 1,500 metres seems beautiful for Elise. 15 to 16 is ideal. 15's better. And Sedanza should like the extra distance. OK, so Elise has shot out in front here, Mike, but does she like the soft or heavy track? Well, I think this is a big risk for favourite backers if you're backing early. If the rain's coming, the track's chopped up. She's a big heavy mare. She may even get scratched. Not ideal conditions for her to bet early. Dyslexic, she's probably better on a soft track. That's how she's rated. Heavy's a bit risky. Oregon's Day, once again, rated on a soft track, improving. Heavy's a bit risky for her. Well, look, there are a lot lining up in behind Elise here, Mike. Plenty of gold just coming through. It might all be about the position run in this race. Yeah, we're not playing position run too much, but this race we are, just because there's not too much tempo. So Dyslexic going forward, Oregon's Day in the box seat. Invincible Gem, She loves a bit of room in her races, so barrier 8 is much, much better than barrier 1. She can pose you up outside the leaders. It's an ideal spot for her.
Okay, I know that's one of yours from over the years, Mike. Has not won in a long time. I might have been one of those that's had an early go at Elise, so I don't know about these heavens opening,
sorry,
Mike. Let's have a look now at all the ratings, because this horse, as we know, is good. But how good is she? She's only a length ahead here of Dyslexic, and here is that Coolmore form, Mike. Oregon's Day, so competitive. And, well, Invincible Gem, you've made some really good cases there, and $26 looks like great value.
Yeah, we can see why the money's coming for Dyslexic, but if the rain comes and it's an honest tempo, a bit risky maybe for her. Elise, we've talked about it, a few risks for her, but she's such a good mare. If you're going for that Coolmore form and you want one of value, we think we found one. We've talked about it. She used to be one of mine. I jumped off for a while. I'm back on the Invincible Gem train, drawn the outside, pushing forward. She loves galloping room, and she'll be hard to beat in any conditions on Saturday.
Last start win in the Missile 2017, around 12 starts ago, Mike.
Each way bet.
There we go. Well, now have a look at this race. The Vinery Stud Stakes, some might call this the best race of the autumn. Have a look at this market. Very Elegant, Mike, has just been absolutely smashed since the markets came out. $3.50 into about $2.40, and the rain's coming, so who knows? It could start shorter, but surely it's bottomed out at $2.40. Nikita Jane, well, this horse just loves to show up. $6.50. Pahuta Kawa coming off that massive win at Kembla. Aristia, so reliable as well. $7.50. Eldorado dreaming a great run. Some good runs here in behind Pahuta Kawa there, Mike, but very elegant. The punters have jumped out to back this.
This is unbelievable, this go. I cannot believe the money that has come from Wednesday afternoon when the conditions are so up in the air, the bias is up in the air. Let's have a look at what she did last start. We were on, we've got to say, Stu, we tipped her on this show. She's in this is probably the best possible scenario you can write for Very Elegant. Inside barrier, jumping to the box seat, not having to do any work, settling as well as James Mack can get her to settle. A heavy 10 track. She's a lightly framed type that likes it. They fan off to the outside. She has to go through without doing any work at all. But in saying all that, she was enormous, Stu.
She was enormous. And look, a big key here, so J-Max sticking on board here.
Yeah, that's a big sign off Pahuta Kawa.
Yep.
And obviously two horses in the market, so a big sign for him.
Well, let's have a look at the one he's jumped off now. This is Pahuta Kawa. This was the day at Kembla, and we were on a soft 7 this day, so all importantly, some soft track form here, Mike. Gets to the front here and just says, see you later. This was a serious win, and, well, we thought she would have won the Coolmore. She wasn't running in this.
She probably would have won the Coolmore at 50 kilograms. I think she had 3 kilograms less than the filly that came second. Look, she was strong first up. She was strong second up. She's got Group 1 form line. She hit the lead a long way out.
Yep.
She's 3 or 4 lengths in front. She's idling down at the end there. She's an incredibly good filly, and she's incredibly good odds on Saturday.
Some decent horses chasing there. Let's see if they're going to factor in the key factors, Mike, as we get the race started. All the form is all coming from these three at the top of the market.
Yeah, lots of opinions, but the data says the form is very similar. The times are very similar, and you cannot split these 3 fantastic fillies.
Well, I've got a feeling there's not going to be too much between the absolute top and the absolute bottom here, Mike. So let's have a look as we hit the key factors with progression.
Yeah, I think we're sure that Pahuta Kawa is improving a big, strong type with scope and progression. Very Elegant, we think it's going to improve third up, but she goes pretty well fresh, so we're giving her a gold bar with a bit of a question mark. Nikita Jane, last start was okay, maybe holding her form would be good, and a few others on the up. So many good fillies in this race.
I love seeing that. So much gold across the page, Mike. What about this distance? Most of them just getting out now.
Yeah, they should be okay. The favourites again, but there's lots of fillies in this race who should absolutely relish the 2,000 metres. Scarlet Dream surging late. She'll love it.
All right, so it's Pahuta Kawa. Very Elegant still out in front there, Mike. Track conditions, who is going to love it? We know Very Elegant does.
Yeah, she does, but if it's heavy. But if it's going back to soft, maybe Arista and Kofila will like it. But yeah, this is a very iffy slide, this one, Stu.
Okay, so this $2.40 favourite is even here, and there's only a few just in behind, position in run.
Yeah, once again, not too much tempo. So Nikita Jane and Kofila drop right into the box seat.
Okay, Mike, this is an absolutely great race. Nikita Jane has just levelled up here with Pahuta Kawa. I mean, Very Elegant. The money's come, as we said. So I'm just asking myself, is this a betting race at all? Let's have a look at all the ratings now, because we've got to decide that, Mike. $2.40, $6.50, $7. Very Elegant, we know is good, but $2.40, I don't think we're having that, are we?
Yeah, is it a betting race? It's a really good question. Just a couple of risks. Very Elegant can race keenly up to 2,000 metres. We're not quite sure. Nikita Jane on a soft track, never been there before. So our best bet's got to be the one that's ticked the soft track box, is going really well.
Yep.
Bahudakawa each way. She's a safer bet for us.
All right, the boys in blue, they're in the vinery. Let's now have a look at the Tancred Stakes, the Group 1, and another great race here. And it is another Godolphin horse that is favourite, Avilius. Another one they have absolutely smashed into $1.60. Red Cardinal racing so well this preparation with 2 wins, $6. Big Duke loving to run on well, Mike, but Avilius, that is the only one they've backed. We
have to look at Avilius. So we're going to have a really close look at this Godolphin galloper and see how good he is over his last 2 starts. This is a wet track last start, and it's really important to talk about what James Cummings said after this race. Yep. He said it was important that the jockey rode the horse, not the race. He's a horse with a fantastic turn of foot, a big sprint, but if you ask for it too early, he can peak on his run. They timed it just beautifully this day, Stu.
Look, they did, and this was obviously Karen McAvoy on. Mike gets the services of James McDonald. Any interest there?
Yeah, maybe Karen McAvoy's got really soft hands. We'll see how he goes on Saturday.
OK, let's have a look now at the Group 1 Australian Cup. When, well, this might have been a day it absolutely peaked, Mike.
It did peak. Yeah, we looked at Ace High in the previous replay as well. Ace High absolutely hates a heavy track. This was a good track, and Ace High finishes right alongside Avilius, who powers through the inside, joins in 200 metres out. We looked at this replay last week, didn't we? And he can peak. He did it in Europe a few times before, so it's not the first time he's done this, Stu.
Look, this is a horse you have had your eye on ever since it got to Australia, going back through all those European runs, and you pretty much think you figured this horse out a while ago.
He's a 2,000 metre horse max.
Here we go. Let's get into all the key factors now, and of course the form, Mike. Avilius going so well. Light that one up.
He brained them only a few days ago. He's got the gold bar for form. Simple.
All right. Who can catch up to Avilius? Who's got the progression?
Yeah, so many are getting fitter. Brigham Rock's a big, bulky type that's getting fitter. And Yogi, second, third up now. He can improve.
OK, so a couple there with gold well down in the market. What about the distance, Mike, out of the 2,400?
Yeah, definitely not Avilius. He'll be holding on at the end. Red Cardinal likes it. Brigham Rocks likes it. And Yogi is an absolute grinding stayer.
OK, what about track conditions?
Well, this was rated on a soft track, so these horses from heavy back to soft would like it, but we don't know what it's going to be, so treat it with caution. But
more importantly, Avilius is only a length ahead here, Mike. There's a few charging, Brigham Rocks, Yogi and Patrick Aaron at some very big odds. What about position in run?
Nothing doing. The bias is unknown. It's 2,400 metres.
All right, so look, the biggest risk here is obviously the track, Mike. We've got Avilius, talking about the tempo as well, but if it's wet, we know horses like Red Cardinal, Big Duke are going to be right there. Time for a play here, Mike. $1.60. I cannot come into that. That's got to be getting out on Saturday. What about the Waller pair here? Brigham Rocks and Patrick Aaron, $34, $21, and old Yogi Bear charging home.
Yeah, the Bear will be winding up later. Look, if the tempo's steady, he'll smash them. He'll sprint off the turn and he'll put 3 lengths on, and that'll be it. But I think they know his weakness. I think the jockeys will roll along. We're going to relive Who Shot the Barman and Grand Marshal for the Waller stable.
Yeah, of course.
Brigham Rocks and Patrick Aaron, 2,400 metres. Why not each way?
All right, we're going very wide there in the Tancred. Well, there's a look at 5 key races at Rosehill Gardens on Saturday. Stick around after the break, and we've got all our value plays for the day. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by the raceguide.com.au. We've had a look at 5 key races this weekend at Rosehill Gardens. What a day of racing it is. But, Mike, I reckon you've got your eye on a few others. You'll be having a bet in every race, won't we?
I think we had a bit of a bet on all 9 races last week. What a big day it was, and maybe a few after the last race as well. Starting with race 1, we talked about that. Alvray, we talked about him as well on a drying track. A big asterisk there. If the storm comes, set your alarms for 6 o'clock on Saturday. We'll be at Rosehill Gardens to give you an update. Madison County's probably the best Kiwi, but they're a bit up and down like we said, so maybe you want a bit of a better price. We talked about Invincible Gem, trekking good odds at $3.90. Bahudakawa we talked about. Brigham Rocks again on a drying track, and there's 2 wet trackers to end the day, just in case it's all chopped up and they're coming down the outside, Stu.
Right, yes, we're going to have to look at the weather all day, Mike. And look, $100 hot seat. I mean, these are never easy to start with, but $100 to play with. This must have been one of your hardest this weekend.
We've been doing this for a couple of years, mate, and this was the hardest $100 I have ever spent on a Thursday night. I changed it about 4 times between 11 and 2, so sorry to the producers for all those versions I sent through. $15 each way on Strasbourg. He's been on a soft track before. $5 on Alvray. I know he's a dry tracker, but the odds are just too juicy for us. Invincible Gem, we love her. A bit of a win, definitely a place against a really classy field. And Bahudakawa, $20 each way in the best vinery I have ever seen in my lifetime.
Isn't it brilliant? Taking on the favourite there. Very elegant. And Mike, charity multi-time. We're looking for some big value in this. So let's have a look where we're playing this week. We're going to start with the 2-year-old. It is Strasbourg for the place. Invincible Gem has been featuring in a few of these, Mike, for the place again. And there is that Pahuta Kawa. We want to get this home. And of course, 51-1. We're pretty much wanting to double the tally here for our charity this year.
Yeah, we're impatient, mate. We want to crack that grand early in the year and get it well into the 2, 3, 4 grand later in the year. A few charities will be paying out the next couple of months.
Well, there's a great look at the program at Rosehill Gardens on Saturday. Head to theраceguide.com.au for all your feature profiling and stick around because next week we'll be seeing you from Randwick for the Championships.
Enjoy Saturday.